Look at you, wearing your heart on your sleeve, hoping the world will care. But let me tell you something. The more you feel, the less they respect you. You think your emotions make you human? No, they make you a target. They sniff out your weakness like wolves circling fresh meat, ready to tear you apart. You think that showing how much you care, how much you hurt, will make people appreciate you more. But what really happens? The moment you show pain, people stop listening. The moment you need someone, they pull away. Ever notice that? You open up, and all they do is look at you like you're weak. You're too much, too intense, too emotional, and they turn their backs, leaving you to drown in your own feelings, wondering what went wrong. This world does not care how you feel. It does not pause because you're struggling. And if you think they'll show mercy just because you're hurting, you're already losing. The truth is harsh, but it's the truth you need to hear. The more you feel, the less they respect you. The more you give away, the less they value you. Your pain doesn't make them kinder. It doesn't make them more compassionate. It makes you easy to walk over. But don't take my word for it. Just look around you. Watch how people react when someone is vulnerable, when someone shows their emotions too openly. The instant they see you hurting, they don't comfort you. They distance themselves. They feel uncomfortable because they know. They know that vulnerability is like the sign flashing. Take advantage. They know that emotions are a game to play, and you're the one they can beat. So why do we keep giving them access to our most sensitive parts? Why do we let them see our pain, our fear, our struggles, thinking it will make them respect us more? It doesn't. It only makes them look for cracks in your armor. It only invites more disrespect. Here's the hard truth. The more you feel, the less they will respect you. It's time to change the game. Keep your emotions in check, or prepare to lose the game entirely. Every single time you let those emotions loose, every single time you expose the rawness of your pain, you become less. You become weaker, you become prey. The more you let your emotions run wild, the easier it is for them to control you, manipulate you. They see the cracks, they see the chaos inside you, and they know exactly how to use it. Your weakness is their weapon, your pain, their advantage. Emotions are like an open wound. The more you expose it, the more dirt they will throw in it. They don't care. They won't hesitate to make it worse. It's not about compassion. It's not about helping you heal. No, it is about seeing how much they can tear you down before you realize what's happening. Let's take the workplace, for example. How many times have you over-explained yourself, apologized endlessly, tried to justify your actions just to be heard? The more you do that, the less they take you seriously. You think you're making a case for yourself, but what you're really doing is showing them your insecurity. You're giving them your vulnerability, and they use it against you. Every apology, every explanation just proves to them that you do not have enough confidence to stand your ground, and the more you give them, the less respect they'll show. In relationships, it's the same thing. The more you chase, the more they pull away. The more you give in to your emotions and show how badly you need them, the less they'll value you. Your love becomes a tool they can use to manipulate you. You think it's about connection, but all you're doing is handing over control, letting your emotions lead the way while they sit back and watch. And then there's society. The louder you complain, the more invisible you become. The more you shout about what's wrong, about how you feel, the less anyone listens. Why? Because emotions are exhausting. People don't want to hear it. They don't want to be dragged down with your pain. So the more you give into it, the more you make yourself a burden. And the more invisible you become, the more they stop caring. It's a cycle. You break, they ignore. You show them how much you're hurting, and they pull away. You beg for validation, and they just laugh. They don't respect your emotions. They use them. They see your pain and use it to their advantage. They use it to push you further, to make you more dependent, to keep you in line. It's not about caring, it's about control. And as long as you let them see you struggle, as long as you let your emotions control you, you're nothing but a puppet. And they are the ones holding the strings. You think you're reaching out for help, but all you're doing is giving them more ammunition to make you feel small. And the worst part, you let them. You let them prey on your emotions, and you let it happen over and over again. So, what's the solution? Simple. Stop letting them. The moment you stop handing your heart over to everyone who asks for it, the moment you start controlling what they see, you shift the power. You stop being the victim of your own feelings, and you become the master of them. They told you to express yourself, but they forgot to mention something important. Nobody respects someone who bleeds in front of wolves. They want you raw. They want you vulnerable. They want you to show them all the cracks, all the pain, all the weaknesses that they can exploit. That's how they control you. That's how they strip you of your power. They want you open so they can crawl in, manipulate you, break you down piece by piece. But a king doesn't beg for respect. He demands it. A king controls his presence, his words, his emotions. His power isn't in how loudly he shouts or how visibly he feels. His power is in the silence, the stillness, the quiet strength that others can't touch. A king doesn't show his wounds. He hides them because he knows the moment he shows his weakness, the wolves start circling. When you control your emotions, you stop being a puppet. You stop being pulled in every direction by your feelings. You stop letting fear dictate your actions and anger rule your decisions. Instead, you start calling the shots. The power shifts and people start respecting you. They see that you aren't ruled by your emotions. You don't wear your heart on your sleeve like some helpless fool begging for validation. No, you control yourself. You control your reactions, your response to every situation. You don't let anyone see you sweat, and suddenly the world starts to take you seriously. You don't have to scream, beg, or cry to be heard. You don't have to show how much you care, how much it hurts, how much you're willing to give. Because once you stop showing that vulnerability, once you stop giving them the satisfaction of seeing your weakness, something shifts. People start chasing you instead. They start wondering, how do you do it? How do you stay so calm? How do you keep your emotions in check? And when they start chasing you, that's when you know you've won. You don't need to wear your emotions on your sleeve for anyone to see. You don't need to scream your pain to be heard. Control your emotions and you control the narrative. You stop being at the mercy of the world's expectations and you start demanding the respect you deserve. So stop handing over your emotions like a fool. Learn to guard them, because once you do, That's when you truly begin to rise. You will have the power, the control, and the respect that others can only dream of. The world wants to see you break. They want to see your emotions splatter all over the place like a painting of chaos. But you'll remain unreadable, a calm, still face amidst the storm. People test you. They push your buttons, waiting for that explosion. And if you explode, you lose. But if you stay unreadable, if you remain unmoved, detached from the situation, you win every single time. You become the unpredictable force. They can't control you, can't manipulate you, because they don't know what you're thinking. They can't read you. Choose when to speak. Your words are power, but silence is feared more than words. When you speak, make it count. Don't waste your energy. Let the silence hang in the air like a heavy fog, making them squirm, making them question what's going on in your mind. Redirect your energy. Turn pain into power, rejection into fuel, and anger into cold precision. The more you hold on to your emotions, the more control you have. Take that pain you're carrying and use it. Transform it. Instead of letting it break you, let it sharpen you. Let it fuel your next move, your next challenge, your next conquest. A chess master doesn't slam the board when he loses a piece. He doesn't let the emotion of the moment dictate his next step. No. He calculates his next move. Calm, precise, detached. He doesn't waste energy on things he can't control. He just focuses on the next play. You can do the same. Every setback, every frustration, every insult, instead of reacting emotionally, step back, watch, wait, then strike when the moment is right. You control the game now. You're not showing them vulnerability. You're giving them ammunition. You're handing them the power to dictate your worth. The strong, they don't beg, they don't break. The ones who move in silence, the ones who don't react, they're the ones everyone fears and respects. You've seen them, the ones who hold their ground, who never show their hand. No matter how hard the storm rages around them, they stay composed. They remain in control. The storm that makes the most noise gets ignored. It's the one who rages the loudest, who begs for attention, who screams for validation. But the silent one, that's the one they fear. The one who says nothing, who does nothing, but still commands respect. Why? Because silence is power. Control is power. The ones who've mastered their emotions, they don't need to scream, to beg, or to collapse. They just are. And that's the kind of power that doesn't need validation from anyone. It's veered, it's respected, and it's unstoppable. Emotion doesn't win wars. Strategy does. Control does. Patience does. You think it's about how loud you shout or how deep you bleed? You're wrong. It's about how quietly you move, how composed you stay while the world falls apart around you. Stop over-explaining. Mystery is respect. Over-explaining is desperation. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your emotions. The more you reveal, the weaker you become. Let them wonder what you feel. Let them question your next move. The more they don't know, the more they respect. Revenge isn't loud, it's silent growth. They mocked you? Good. Let them laugh. Keep your mouth shut, build in silence, and watch them eat their words later. You think revenge is about confrontation? No. It's about showing them in the end that their mockery only made you stronger. You want power? You want respect? Then shut your mouth, control your emotions, and make them guess what's going on inside you. Let them talk. Let them think they have you figured out, because they don't. You know what terrifies people? A man who doesn't react. A woman who smiles when they expect tears. Silence is the most dangerous weapon you can wield. Because when you don't react, they don't know what to expect. It makes them uneasy. It makes them question themselves. And that uncertainty, that's power. When you're silent, they start fearing your next move. Silence creates space, and in that space, they start filling in the blanks, imagining your thoughts, your plans. They wonder what you're thinking, what you're plotting. And every moment they spend wondering is a moment they lose control. Why do you think the most powerful people in the room talk the least? They don't need to speak, because their presence, their silence commands respect. They understand that the less they say, the more they hold. They don't waste words, and when they do speak, it's measured, deliberate, calculated. A lion doesn't announce its attack. It moves in silence, then strikes. The quieter the predator, the more dangerous it is. It knows the power of restraint, and when the time comes, it's ready to pounce with devastating precision. Silence isn't weakness, it's the calm before the storm, and when you learn to master it, the world will start to fear your every move. The old you, too emotional, too easy to manipulate. You let your feelings control you, made you vulnerable. You wore your heart on your sleeve, and they saw it. They used it against you. But the new you, unreadable, unshakable. You don't react. You don't give them the satisfaction of knowing what you feel. They'll never know, because now you control the game. The first step to reinventing yourself: erase desperation. Stop looking for validation. Stop begging for approval. People can sense desperation, and they will use it to control you. Remove it, and watch how your value rises. Second, stop proving yourself. You don't need to explain why you deserve respect, why you deserve to be heard. The moment you start proving yourself, you hand them control. Overlooked to feared, from mocked to respected, from desperate to untouchable. That's the transformation that happens when you learn to master your emotions. It's not just a shift in how you handle the world. It's a shift in how the world handles you. When you don't need them, they chase you. When you don't show emotion, they respect you. They don't understand why you're different, but they feel it. And that's power. The power to make them work for your attention instead of the other way around. When you control your emotions, you stop being the victim. You stop being the one who's constantly reacting. You become a force of nature. You become the one who decides when to speak, when to act, and when to remain silent. The more you learn to control what's inside, the more you hold the reins of power over your own life. This isn't about being cold, it's about being in control. It's about knowing that your emotions are yours to command. You don't let them control you. You use them as a tool to get what you want. And in the end, that's what earns you respect. Control, not emotion, that's what makes you untouchable. The moment you take control is the moment everything changes. No more being manipulated by your feelings. No more letting them dictate your actions. You decide who you are, and you decide how you react. They don't respect your feelings. They respect your strength. The power to control yourself, that's the real power. And now, it's time to show them what that looks like. It's time to let them see who you really are. Not the emotional wreck they can manipulate, but the unshakable force that walks through life with purpose. So here's your challenge. Stop wearing your heart on your sleeve. Stop letting the world know how you feel. Start controlling your emotions, or they will control you. If this video spoke to you, hit that thumbs up. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe, because this journey of mastering your emotions, it's only just beginning. When you take charge of your feelings, nothing and no one will ever be able to break you.